Hey guys, welcome back to Paper Made Me Do It. I'm going to do a flip through of my January journaling. This is in an A5 Hobonichi Cousin Avec. So this is January through June of 2020. I just did a little collage here on the cover. The back cover is collaged as well, but of course it's slipped into the back pocket right now. Now I don't have anything at all in the monthly or the weekly section yet of this book because I use something else for planning. So I would love to do something here. I'm trying to think of ideas right now, and I'm hoping that I can come up with something soon before it gets, too far ahead where I don't have enough time to go back. So hopefully when I do maybe next month's flip through, I'll be able to show you something in the monthly and weekly sections of this book. But for now, I've been working in the daily section. So this cover for the month of January was a printable. It's actually a free printable that came from City Girl Planners. So I just cut real close to the edge, glued it down, and then just doodled all around it. This is kind of an intro for the month, so I just used a very large printable from Courtney Diaz at Little Raven Ink on Patreon to fill this space. I love this design, so pretty. And then this was New Year's Day, the first day of the year. It was a Wednesday. These little date tabs that you'll see throughout the month came from Courtney Diaz Little Raven Ink printables. This tearaway calendar that I use quite a bit, I'm loving it. It was included in a monthly subscription box from the stationery selection. And this is some Rhodia dot grid paper. I had just received a new to me, it was actually a vintage fountain pen that had a flex nib, and I was trying out that new pen here. And so I wrote this quote that I found online. I thought it kind of tied into the New Year's theme. Be always at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let each new year find you a better man. That was a Benjamin Franklin quote. And so I just used my ruler as a guide and hand tore that section of the page out to turn into a tip-in. That's just some little hand doodling that I did on top of it. And then journaling underneath. This is a layered version of that tearaway calendar with journaling underneath and another tip in there. This sticker as well as this business card came from an order from, is it Bookhu? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Bookhoou, I'm pretty sure, on Instagram. So she has a lot of really cool textiles, and I had ordered a couple pouches from her, and I'm pretty sure that both of these things came in that packaging. And for this spread, as well as the next 2 pages, I have a process video on my channel. I'll try to link it in the cards. So this was kind of like a little catch-up journaling session where I had fallen 4 days behind, so I did all 4 of these days at once. The hand lettering for a lot of the days that you see, it is done with a Sharpie brush pen. And this was a Courtney printable, another Courtney printable. Made a tip-in out of that tearaway calendar. This I cut out of a Flow magazine. This is part of that same process video. A couple tip-ins. These are Courtney printables, Sharpie brush pen. These were some really old stickers that I needed to use up. It was like an alphabet pack that I purchased at Michael's. forever ago. Wednesday and Thursday, these are some washi stickers that are really nice. The washi is so thin you really can't see the border. Once you lay them down on the page, it kind of fades away. I ordered them from Nico Neko in New York. And these are Courtney printables. This was a vinyl sticker that I received in an order from Goulet Pens. This printable came from Cheyenne Barton on Patreon. And then here I just had a little scrap slip of vellum left over from another paper project. So I used my office date stamp. It's a self-inking stamp, and just stamped the date down and then attached it with the Tim Holtz tiny attacher. Just gives a little texture. And I was all about the layers this month for some reason. I tried to do as many layers as I could. This spread also has a process video on my channel. I'll link it in the cards. But this was a Friday and Saturday. I just did a little hand-drawn kind of a messy border here. I love this border. It was something that I picked up a long time ago from Courtney. And this quote came from a Flow magazine. These little feet that I used because I had a pedicure that morning, they came from a Flow magazine as well. And this washi sticker came from Nico Neko. Here's a Sunday Monday spread. Just used the tearaway calendar as another tip in for layers. And this was an exciting day if you are an LSU football fan. We took the national championship for 2019. They finished the year with a 15-0 season, which was amazing. So I wanted to be sure to dedicate a page to that. Okay, this is a wide, kind of like a masking tape, more so than a washi tape. It's made by the Scotch brand, and I found it at my local Office Depot. The hand lettering is also done with the Sharpie brush pen. These printables, I believe both came, I know this one for sure came from Courtney Diaz with Little Raven ink. I think this was one of hers as well. This stamp I've used a few times throughout the month. Is a custom stamp that was included in the monthly subscription box for the stationery selection. This was another Courtney printable, and this quote I just cut out of a Flow magazine. My little stamp smeared there. I've done that several times this month, so I need to remember that that ink takes longer to dry, but that's that little office stamp that I use. So it looks like this, and it's self-inking. And then washi. I've just used a ton of washi throughout the whole month, and that's kind of normal for me. I just love the look of washi tape. I'm trying to use what I have. I have so many rolls. Here I was just testing out some different fountain pens in my collection. Both of these large printables came from Courtney Diaz. And then this was a quote, or a little definition, so to speak, that I found online of marriage. It says it's a noun, and the definition is an endless sleepover with your favorite weirdo, which I thought was hilarious. So I wrote that with my new Flex fountain pen, and then put our anniversary date underneath. These are Courtney printables. And this quote, "The time is always right to do what is right," that is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This was the Martin Luther King holiday. The kids were out of school that day. On this day, I received a new order from Goulet Pens. It's a Lamy 2000 fountain pen that had been on my wish list forever. So I just took and did a little hand sketch of that fountain pen there, and then all of this writing underneath is using that pen. So it writes like butter, super, super smooth. This is a medium nib. And that is my husband in the background. If you can hear him hollering, he's trying to round up our 3 boys, which is quite a feat. So if you can hear all that noise in the background, sorry about that. This spread also has a process video that I did at the time on my channel, so I will try to link it in the cards. These are little classic-y number seals that I use to represent the date. Some more Cheyenne Barton printables, washi stickers from Nico Neko. This little graphic card came from a Flow Paper Lovers book. And just another little hand-drawn messy border. This is a Courtney printable. This came from a Flow magazine cutout. And this washi came from the Hobonichi store in Japan. I just recently received it. It is an MT washi that was made to coordinate with the MT collaboration that was done recently with Hobonichi. So there's actually an A5 Hobonichi cover that kind of matches the design of this washi. I really like it because it just feels bright and happy to me. Now this hand lettering, you can see, is a little bit thinner than what I normally do with the Sharpie brush pen. So this was written with one of the Pentel Sign touch pens. It's a little bit firmer nib, but you can still get some line variation with it to do hand lettering with. This cutout came from Flow magazine, and both of these girls were actually on a roll of washi. I just recently received this from Nico Neko. It's part of the Dolce Vita line. And so this one, I just laid the whole strip down, and the background is kind of translucent, so you can't really tell. On this one, I did take the time to kind of fussy cut around it so it looks more like a sticker, but it was actually on, let's see, I happen to have it right here. It was actually on a roll like washi tape. So, love those. This is a Cheyenne Barton printable. I just wrote with all of the fountain pens that I had currently inked at the time here. Cheyenne printable, Courtney printable, Courtney. This worked out well because she had a couple different printables recently that have birthday cake on them, and this was my sister's birthday. This was cut out of a Flow magazine. That's another one of the birthday cake printables in that same collection. And this girl of the La Dolce Vita line, this round sticker was the seal. You know how they do on their packaging of the washi when they have a seal sometimes that represents the design. So I just carefully pulled that seal off of one end after I had unwrapped the plastic packaging and used it here. So I love that design. She's wearing a backpack, and I'm a backpack girl. This was a Cheyenne Barton printable, Courtney printable, some more of that tearaway calendar, and that new MT Hobonichi collab washi. And that is it for the month of January. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.